Joining us this morning for Hot Copy, ang Provinciano Party List Representative Ronnie Ong. He filed a bill at the lower house calling actually for the postponement of the upcoming school year. Congressman Ong, good morning to you.
Good morning, Karen. Magandang umaga.
All right, can you expound essentially the details of the bill? You want the whole school year postponed?
Yes po. We are asking for the Department of Education to postpone school year 2020 and school year 2021 until we have a clearer picture on what to do and what direction we have to go. Kasi po, Karen, sa ngayon, magulo ho talaga. Ang dami na hong mga private schools and public schools, especially private schools actually, have announced that enrollment will start in June. Pero hindi pa ho natin alam kung are we doing online classes or are we doing face-to-face. Obviously, for obvious reasons, we cannot do face-to-face right now because of the threat of COVID. While online classes may sound okay, but in reality, hindi ho rin natin pwede gawin because of our limited infrastructure. We're doing how many % lang ho ang may internet on data. So mahirap po natin gawin po yun.
Now, Congressman Ong, Secretary Harry Roque suggested that we do what he calls blended learning. So blended learning would be a mix. It's
Yes,
mostly online and then some would be face-to-face depending on the teacher's decision and the class size. Won't this work?
Mahirap po kasi po gawin yun, Karen. Blended. So paano po? May radio, may TV, using what, PTV4 or internet is really hard. Kasi in reality, even for some private schools na may mga families nila, sila mismo wala pa hong internet. So mahirap po talaga. Ang most of the problem will be the private school teachers. Kasi we know naman the reality na no school, no pay po sila. So that is more of the things that we should be, and they are the ones who we should try to help.
Okay, but then, if let's say we follow your suggestion, your recommendation that for one whole year, because you are suggesting that the school year of 2020 to 2021 be postponed. So it's like a gap year for all students. Right now, the Philippines ranks among the lowest when it comes to reading, math, and science. We are the lowest in reading comprehension among 79 countries. What would be the effect for all our students if other countries are already reopening in some kind of learning method and you want the Philippines to actually postpone a full school year? Anong ito nun, Congressman?
Okay, for now po, the most important thing is the health of our students. Just like what South Korea and France did, they tried reopening school, and what happened po? Most of the teachers or the learning leaders, marami ho nagkasakit ng COVID. We cannot allow that to happen for now because these are extraordinary times. For now, what we can do para somehow yung mga teachers natin sa the private school, they will continue to have livelihood. Pwede ho natin gawin na non-credit courses. The schools can adjust by offering non-credit subjects like probably math, science, online. Para ho yun meron hong infrastructure or may internet, can still go online classes but non-credit. At the same time, for the students, meron silang mental exercise para hindi naman ho maiwanan din yung mga bata.
Okay. Now, Congressman Ong, you mentioned South Korea, and just a day ago, pictures of South Korea reopening schools have gone viral, and they did it by having a plastic board. Parang in between students, no? So isn't this possible, for example, or an option for public school teaching? I would love to show the photos coming from the Washington Post, but essentially each student would have a plastic barrier, no, in between them. Won't that work?
Pwede rin po yun, but again, the risk is too high for us to take. Dahil as of today, we don't have enough testing, or mahihirapan ho tayo for that. Pag tumaas lalo po yung numbers natin ng COVID cases sa schools, mahirap po. Again, number one, ang pinaka-important yung health ng mga bata. pag uwi nila, baka mauwi ho nila yung COVID sa mga lolo, lola, sa parents. Mas malaki yung magiging problema natin dahil una-una, we're stretched thin with regard to our medical teams, our hospitals. That's what we're happening now. Yung mga OFW natin na umuwi, nagkaroon na ho ng first case sa Leyte. Kasi nga, yung balik probinsya program natin, somehow may mga nakabalik ng probinsya na nagdala ho din ng COVID again. Mas malaking problema po natin if we do that.
Okay, so in the 1 year that you are recommending that schools be postponed, what do you suggest that the DepEd do in that 1 year? Because clearly may pera ang DepEd. Anong uri ba ng paghahanda ang sa palagay nyo dapat gawin sa loob ng 1 taon?
Okay. What DepEd can do for public schools is make modules, immediately modules, and give out to the students in public school for them to study at home and review.
Parang
and
reprinting.
Reprinting. At the same time, give some subsidy to the public school teachers kasi meron naman silang listahan na on the public school teachers. And for private school, same thing. For the private schools to make modules, and those who can do online classes but non-credit para ho yung mga teachers kahit na paano meron pa rin silang sweldo, and for the students they can still have mental exercises.
Okay, so these modules you are saying is just to tide over the year. It is not a module to make you pass that grade level.
Yes po. Non-credit, just for mental exercises for the children, for the kids.
Okay, then why not just make a module for the actual school year and credit that? Because in effect, you are expecting the DepEd to spend and print, and Malacanang is open to blended learning. Can't both be done together?
Ang problema ho kasi niyan, not everyone might not be able to adjust. And also, we will expect, syempre, yung learning curve ng mga bata will not be the same as a face-to-face system. So, pag pumasa sila, let's say, from grade 1 to grade 2, baka hilaw. Unlike we just postpone it and just do everything correctly when we're ready.
And
we're also scared.
When do you say is when we are ready? Because in the beginning, President Duterte said, no vaccine, no classes. If we are dependent on a vaccine, and that comes out hypothetically in 2 to 3 years, how do you expect us to move forward without a vaccine?
First, since we are still in calamity situation, while we're waiting, DepEd can start studying ways to go forward, and also with regard to the students, we can prepare them for the new normal. As of now, kasi talaga, Karen, hindi pa talaga tayo ready on what to do. We're rushing. A lot of complaints are coming from the parents because private schools have been trying to collect enrollment fees. They're announcing, and sa totoo lang, wala pa talaga tayong direction. From the day the president announced na no face-to-face, no school, he will not allow it. Next day, nag-announce na naman si Duque na pwede. And then, in the afternoon, si Harry Roque, iba na naman announcement. So, actually, a lot of parents they don't know what's happening. Magulo po eh.
You just mentioned about private schools, and as a parent, I wanted to ask you that many private schools have not actually lowered tuition. Yes, they probably didn't charge miscellaneous fees or lab fees, but the tuition of private schools remain the same. They are paying the teachers, essentially also spending more for what they say support. The question is, many parents also have lower income or some have lost their jobs.
Correct.
Ano po ba ang nararapat pag ganon? Nagawin sa private schools or iutos? Because it should be that private schools would do it on their own. That was an interview with Popoy de Vera. But apparently we're seeing now that most of them aren't. They are charging the same.
Actually, in reality, dapat talaga may discount, probably 10 to 20%. Pero it's right now, everyone's waiting for direction from DepEd on what to do, and of course, CHED. That's why ang ginagawa ng mga private school now, they are jumping the gun. They're already asking for enrollment fees again. So ano ho talaga, we're all waiting for direction, Karen.
Oo. So,
Dulo pa eh.
Congressman, do you plan to call for a hearing, for example, to
Yes.
ask CHED, DepEd, and even members of the private schools to come over? Because I know of many parents wherein they don't know where to go in terms of bringing up issues on tuition with their respective schools.
Actually, you already filed the resolution 3 days ago asking for a hearing para
Okay.
para everyone can come together and talk about this para mapagdesisyon na ho na mabuti kung ano dapat ang gawin natin moving forward.
At kailan ang hearing na po yun, Congressman? Nakakalendar. Kasi ang problema po, di ba, hanggang June 3 na lang po
June 3.
kayo. And ang enrollment po, June 1. Katunayan,
Opo, so-
ang dami na ngayon humihingi ng deposit.
So I'm going to make a follow-up today this afternoon and hopefully mabibigyan tayo before that. Hopefully.
Oo.
But for now, we're asking DepEd Secretary Briones, sana pwede na ho niyang gawa ng paraan, even without the hearing. Sana pwede naman wag muna mag-announce ng enrollment, so wag muna mag-accept ng mga enrollment fees sa mga private school while we're waiting for a concrete direction again from DepEd.
Okay. You've also said that it's very disadvantageous to students in far-flung areas, this
For our
suggested
provincials.
online scheme. And you do have a point there because students in far-flung areas that need to walk to school wouldn't have an iPad or any kind of gadget or, frankly speaking, cell phone data or even more so Wi-Fi.
Ang magiging problema ho kasi natin, if we continue to push for online schooling, it will be an added burden for a lot of people, even in NCR. But syempre,
Oo.
pinaka-importante yung mga probinsyano natin na kasama, mga kababayan natin taga-probinsya, talagang imposible yun online. Dahil una-una, are we going to ask the parents to invest in new gadgets, new cell phones? Even if they do, meron ba tayong infrastructure? May internet ba sa area nila? May data ba? Minsan nga, marami pang area, walang kuryente. Or hindi consistent yung kuryente. Paano natin gagawin yan? So, alangan naman maghati-hati yung mga tao ng isang cellphone. Di ba, social distancing nga tayo. So, we cannot do that again. So, we really have to postpone school and wait and on what to do. And go ahead po.
And Congressman, you believe that the DepEd is not prepared?
They're not. They're not. Just look at their pronouncement. Iba-iba eh. We're still waiting for Secretary Briones to make a direct or decision on what to do moving forward. Ang naririnig natin magsalita is si Secretary of Health, si Secretary of si Harry Roque, but si DepEd, for the past 48 hours, wala pa ho tayo naririnig ko. Ano ba dapat gawin?
So essentially, during this particular year, your solid recommendation is for preparation, for the DepEd to print out modules for mental exercises for kids and to retrain teachers.
Yes.
Is part of your recommendation, for example, to solve, because let's face it that within a year, let's not expect a vaccine or maybe even 2 years.
Yes.
Is it part of your resolution to actually find new methods of learning that are not online? That are practical, doable, especially for those in very far-flung areas?
Definitely. Again, we can do modules wherein a certain modules will be given to students to take home. And then after a day or two, they can just go to and submit their quizzes or their projects to the teachers, something like that. Pwede naman natin gawin yan.
But, just discussing with you, I was thinking, could it be different for different areas? Like, for example, for Ormoc. Ormoc is one example. I spoke with Mayor Richard Gomez, and this Ormoc is absolutely COVID-free.
COVID-free.
Yes, until today, it's still COVID-free. So that would mean if teachers got together with students, since Ormoc is COVID-free, then they would not have COVID even if they're beside each other or in class together. Is that an option for you? Would, for example, Ormoc be a good case study of a COVID-free city and then have classes face-to-face because everybody is COVID-free anyway?
We would like again to congratulate first si Mayor Richard for doing such a good job with the City of Ormoc. Ang nagiging problema kasi natin, Karen, yung testing natin eh. Are we testing enough? Hindi natin talaga alam. What if meron isa, dalawa nakalusot and then ito na yon, pandemic again. Tataas yung numero natin. So again, until we are confident enough to say na may mass testing na tayo, halos lahat na tayo na test, then we can do that. For now, we really do not know. It's hard to do that.
It's hard to do that. Okay, before we go, I just wanted to ask you on several other issues. I spoke with Congressman Eric Yap yesterday, and he said that he is focused on the budget, the 2021 budget, and he said there would be realignments when it comes to the DepEd budget. What are your suggestions in terms of realignments?
I think since we have to support most of the teachers, especially in public school, we have to realign or add budget to DepEd since marami sa mga teachers natin magkakaproblema. Actually also the private schools, we can include that. Actually, bagong normal na nga to, we may have to add so many things in the budget for them.
But I think you are still working with 4.1 trillion.
Yes, we are.
Sabi ni Congressman Yap, no, it will go back to 4.1 instead of 4.6. Tama, sir?
Tama, yes, sir.
Oo.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, may I add, no, itong Balik Probinsya program, because it's also part of your advocacy.
Yes, yes, it is.
Being the Ang Probinsyano party list, some mayors have complained of the lack of guidelines in terms of people going back to provinces. Any recommendations on that, Congressman?
Actually, we are very supportive of that program. Siyempre, being from our party, ang Probinsyano party list, ang nagiging problema kasi after we send them to the province, what do? They'll be waiting for ayuda, for some form of help, but jobs. Ang nagiging problema kasi natin, even sa NCR ngayon, we expect a lot of people to be unemployed soon. Because of the new normal, marami hong businesses na namumblema. So when we send them to the province, what do? Yan ang problema. And also with regard to the COVID situation, before sending them, do we have them tested first? Again, delikado din yan. Kasi alam naman natin ang numero ng COVID mataas sa NCR. So paano yon? So for me, for now, probably we wait first until we have some form of mass testing before we start bringing them to the provinces.
All right.
Of course, pinaka-importante, may trabaho sa probinsya.
Okay. On that note, I want to thank you so much, Congressman Ronnie Ong, for your time this morning.
Thank you, Karen.
Stay strong and stay safe. Thank you.
Thank you, Karen. Be safe. Thank you.